Hi, my name is Paola. I'm 40 years old. I'm the mom of two boys. We live in Amsterdam after 10 years in Chicago. I'm originally from Italy, and since I was very little, I have been enjoying traveling. And so that's one of our family's goal to travel and discover. And so we have been doing this already for a few years, and we just love it and try to go to new places, or sometimes just go back to old places and find new things, especially for my husband and I, who are somehow experienced travelers. It's nice to, now that we have two little ones, to go back and see new things of old places and discover fun facts again through the eyes of our young ones. I have two boys, and the older is 6, and the younger is now 3. And the first time that I flew with my older boy was when he was 5 months old. We took a flight from Chicago to Oklahoma. That's where my husband's family is originally from. And so we were visiting family. Actually, visiting family is the number one reason for us to travel. And as a matter of fact, his first international flight was just when he was 6 months old, when we came to Europe, to Italy, to visit with my family. My younger son flew for the first time to Italy from Chicago when he was 3 months old. And after that, they've taken several international flights or local flights. They are really pros. They're really good. I actually have fun traveling with them on the plane most of the time. The top reason why we fly is definitely to see our families, either in America or in Italy. So the most memorable moments are when the kids can hug again their grandparents after months of not seeing each other. And that is definitely the moment that I treasure, and then also all family members treasure, because there's nothing like seeing each other after many months. Traveling for me is always with or without children, but discovering new things, new places. I'm particularly passionate about Europe, because in such a small space you get exposed to so many different cultures, languages, food, you name it, and tradition, really, you name it. And so that is one of my goals with my children, to expose them to the variety of cultures here in Europe, since we are right in the middle of the continent. I think that the common denominator, though, is really passion for discovery. So as long as that is what you are driven by, I think that you can make traveling with kids happen, and especially make it a worthwhile experience for the children as well, and establish this lifelong passion for them as well. No, I can't think of any reason not to travel with children. I can think maybe of destinations that I would prefer not to travel with children. I don't particularly agree with the theory of don't go there because the children won't remember. I don't particularly agree with that, because I think, and I've seen it with my children, they do remember whatever it is that we are going. They have a big or a small takeaway that will stay with them forever. And so that's a little seed that is planted in their memories, and that is where you see that you are doing something that really will shape their life with this gift that is the passion for traveling. And I think that wherever you go, there's always something that they can learn, and there's always something that you can share with them as a family. In general, now that we are traveling with children, it definitely takes a little bit more planning and a little bit more care in arrangements for the flights, for example, or for hotel accommodations and so on. So it's not as free last minute as before kids, but it can be if you want. When I traveled with both of my kids by myself from Chicago to Italy, actually was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I cannot remember really what went bad because really it was a blissful experience. I do remember what went very well, and that was the timing of the flight. It was just great. The departure time was around dinner time, and then we made it to Europe early in the morning, and the kids were able to sleep during the flight. We also like road trips, and I have to say that my older son is much better road tripper than my younger son. But I especially enjoy traveling by car as well. And we've done some road tripping in America, but mostly we've done it since we moved here to Amsterdam because it's so easy to travel by car in Europe. And I particularly enjoy the fact that in one day you can cross so many countries and have breakfast in one, have lunch in another, and have dinner in another one, and maybe take a few more hours drive while the kids are asleep and sleeping in one more country. Being a little bit last minute planners, that's what I like to call myself. Not really last minute planner, I like to call myself a spontaneous traveler. And so when you have a car, you can stop anywhere. That's the bottom line. One of our family's most memorable travels was last year's road trip from Amsterdam to Oslo. It's about a 15-16 hour drive. And on the way there, we incorporated 2 overnights. On the way home from Oslo to Amsterdam, we didn't have much more time left. And we decided to just have one overnight. We stayed in Denmark, approximately halfway through. So we drove several hours between Oslo and Denmark, and then between Denmark and Amsterdam, we hit many traffic issues, and the travel got much longer than we expected, on top of being long already. So by the time that we were approximately 2 hours out of Amsterdam, we looked back. And we saw that the kids were covered in paint from their crayons and from their felt pens and so on. They obviously didn't know what to do at that point. And they were so bored. They just thought, oh, this sounds cool. Let's do that. And at that one point, what can you do about it? We are stuck in a car. We're just 2 hours away from home. Let's just keep coloring on their arms and their feet and their legs, and just keep going. Don't stop, and shower them as soon as you get home. And unfortunately, that color stuck on them for a few days, so everybody could see that in school and so on. So it was a funny memory. What would I do different next time that we will ever travel between Amsterdam and Oslo? I would incorporate certainly 2 overnights on the way from Oslo to Amsterdam, or any trip that requires long hours of driving. Do that. Yes, traveling in general taught me the big life lesson of being open-minded. So because when you travel, you kind of sign up to meet new people who may or may not understand you, or try food you may or may not like, and sleeping in hotels or apartments that may not be as clean or not as you want. So you sign up for a lot of unknowns, and so being open-minded is really one of the biggest lessons that traveling can provide. And that also goes with children, because facing the unknown, whether it is, oh, I forgot X, where do I get that when I'm in a new place? Or the children have to adapt constantly to new time zones if you're traveling internationally, to a new environment, no matter how far from home you travel, to new schedules, new places. So it's constant adaptation, and I think that traveling, especially when you start very early, is one of the best gifts you can give to children to help them become adaptable and resilient. The first time I've ever traveled with my child, with my older son, internationally by myself, was a memorable experience. Everything went well until I needed a hand sanitizer, which was the first thing that I packed. And because of that, it was at the bottom of my carry-on. So when we were getting situated in our seat and so on, I had to empty my whole carry-on bag to find the hand sanitizer. So, tip for parents, pack your hand sanitizer last. Make it the first item you want to pack, but pack it last. For younger children, as long as they fit with the requirements, I strongly recommend parents to book the bassinet, and that is very nice. There are airlines that allow you to leave the baby in the bassinet even during turbulence. So if you have time to do some research, just to make sure that if that is a feature that you want, you can find that. However, bassinet means that you are sitting against the bulkhead, so on the first row. That means that you won't be able to keep your bag or really much of the stuff that you will surely need during the flight, especially if there is turbulence. So it's like a little bit of a trade-off: sleeping baby versus having all the necessities that you might have the need of during the flight. But if you have an older kid and you're traveling with another parent or another caregiver, maybe choose both seats, 2 bulkheads, and 1 or 2 seats in the row behind, just so that you feel comfortable having within reach everything that you may need. Also, when you're traveling, don't be afraid of asking for help. And as a matter of fact, one of the biggest tips that I can give is, especially if you're traveling solo with 1 or 2 children and you have a long layover or short layover or whatever, airports provide services that allow you to get assistance from transferring from one gate to the other, even if you go through immigration. And that's what we did at that first flight with my younger son. From when we landed in Dublin, somebody met us at the door of the airplane and walked with us through immigration, through everything, helping me with bags, helping me corral the children, and so on. And we made it to the gate for the next flight. It was super helpful to have extra hands. So that's something else that you can count on. So if you can spare that, it's a great support, especially if you're traveling solo. Don't be afraid of traveling with children. When you're traveling with children, everybody will be really trying to be helpful whenever you will likely need help, sometimes with opening the stroller or holding a bag or whatever it will be. Don't be afraid of traveling because it's much worth doing than not. And if you don't want to take a flight, travel by car with the comfort of your own means of transportation and the car seat and everything. So don't be afraid of trying to travel as soon as you feel comfortable doing that. Other thing that I really strongly suggest parents to do, don't be afraid of traveling with babies, because babies, once they are healthy and they are safe and good to go from a vaccination and so on point of view, take them on the plane, take them on the car, on the train, however you want to travel, and travel with them. Babies don't need much in terms of comfort. They have their needs, but especially they need their mom and dad, their caregivers, to take care of those needs. And so babies will go where mom and dad go. And they are easier to carry around because you still don't have to chase them around. And they are just easier than you could ever think. And you don't really have to plan that much, but as soon as you catch signals that your children need that long break from their car seat, just address that right away. Let them do what they need to do. Let them get out of the car, stretch their legs, run around, find a good place for that, and then just do what they need to do. And remember to stop more than just one time if you're driving 15 hours. Traveling, to me, is a way to discover and explore. To me, though, to achieve those goals, traveling doesn't have to be going to the airport and catch the flight to the farthest city away. It's really a mindset. Traveling is a mindset that I associate with curiosity and willingness to listen and look and learn. And I want to foster that feel and wonder and sense of discovering my own children, so that wherever we go, whether it is 10 hours away or half hour away, they can always find what makes that place so special that was worth going. And also I believe that essentially there's no place not worth going, because everywhere you go you can find something new. Is it better than where you are? Is it beautiful? Is it beautiful? Is it memorable? Maybe not always, at least, but you can always learn something new.